Hey guys, welcome back to Tackle Tuesday. It's Ricky Jones. Today we're going to talk about fishing rods. In the world of fishing today, there's so many different types of rods for different scenarios and for different baits. Today we're going to go over the different actions and the different types of rods. Now, there's also two types of rods. You have your casting rod, which has this little trigger right here. That way when you're sitting there, you can hold it, right there. And then you've got your original, spinner rod, or, spin cast rod. And we'll get into that after we do the casting rod. But the casting rod holds a bait casting reel, I should say, that sits on top. This is for a little bit, more advanced angler. When you're first starting out and you watch these videos, I would start out with the spinning rod. It's a lot easier for you to cast and control the line and not get backlashes and such. So if you ever look at a rod, you notice right there, let's see if it'll zoom in on that. Well, if you notice, they've got there you go, right there. If you notice right there, they have a bunch of different numbers or words and line tests and all this stuff. What that is what they've tested that rod at until its breaking point. So for like this one we have right here is a 7-foot medium heavy power moderate fast action. Now what that means is your rod is a fairly heavy rod, all right? The tip on this rod is pretty flimsy right there, right? And that gives you a lot of playroom, pretty much. You can throw a lot of things on this rod. The medium heavy is I think, the most all-around rod there is. You can throw a little bit heavier weights on there or a little bit lighter weights or weighted lures, and the tip will give you great action. The medium heavy is for the backbone of the rod, how much weight you can actually put, how much stress you can put that under. You have several different types of powers and rod actions. You have ultralight, light, medium light, heavy, medium, and then I think some bass rods go up to extra heavy, but that's for thick vegetation to pull those bass out. You don't want to snap a rod, trying medium power rod trying to pull 40 pounds of grass and 6 pounds of fish. And then you have the actions, and actions go from extra fast, moderate fast, and that's going to determine the action, really, right? Action that you can put on your bait. How flimsy that tip is going to be to allow you to, you don't want a heavy action rod trying to throw a fluke. It's just not going to work. You want that extra fast action that, that fluke can dart and do whatever, and you're not restraining your bait from doing its said action that it needs to do. Rod lengths. Rods come in various amounts of lengths, all the way from your basic rods are going to go from about 6 foot 6 inches to about 7 feet 10 inches. Those are kind of your spectrum of rods. There's a lot longer rods out there. I think now that on the Bassmaster Elite Tour, they're allowed to use 8-foot rods for cranking. But for our purposes here, we're gonna stick with the 7 or the 6.5 foot to the 7-foot 10 rods. That determines how far you can cast that rod, and also how much action you can put on a rod too. For cranking crankbaits, you want a little bit longer rod, but so you can get that nice parabolic bend when you're retrieving it, and as soon as that fish bites at it, it can still bite one treble hook, and that bend is going to keep that fish pinned the entire time on the way to the boat. You don't want something that's going to give up, when you're reeling a fish in, or it's just going to stay straight to that fish because it's going to come off. All right. Next thing is line weight. Most rods, like this one, says 12 to 20 pound test. That's regular monofilament, I believe, that it was tested with. But you can, for majority of the part, you can put any monofilament or fluoro that is up to 20 pounds, on this, and get the action that it's supposed to be given out, or that it's said to give out. Big frog rods and heavy flipping rods, you'll see, no rod is going to say, hey, put 65 pound braid on this and go flip some grass, which I think they should have an option for, hey, this is what you need to use this rod for. But if you go back into my frogging video, most people understand that if you're going to go fish vegetation, you need to have a pretty stout rod to pull that fish out. Yeah, so it gives you a recommendation for the best action with line weight and with your lure weight. Like this one says 3/8 to 3/4 of an ounce. Once you hit that 3/4 of an ounce on this rod, it's basically becoming almost an anchor to your fishing line, or to your fishing rod. You're going to be dragging that thing, and it's going to put your rod under more stress. So not exceeding that max amount of weight on there is a good idea. Really, I try and stay, a fraction under of what I can get out of this rod. I know for one of my medium heavy rods, I use a 3/8 ounce. I don't go all the way to the 1/2 ounce, or the 3/4 ounce, just because, I'm gonna get a lot more out of that rod if I'm using just a little bit lighter weight than I would if I was using that exact heavy weight, that it's maxed out to. Not saying you can't use it, but that's just a personal preference for myself. All right, so with all that being said, if you go out and you go to, your local Bass Pro or tackle shop or whatever, and you start seeing all these rods, hopefully this video helped you out onto what to choose for your fishing situation and your skill level. Now, you don't need to go out there and spend $100, $120, $130, whatever, on a rod. If you're just starting out, go out there, buy a combo. Most combos come as medium or medium heavy with a good 6-to-6 or 7-to-1 ratio, gear ratio reel, and those are perfect setups for beginners for like $80, $70. But once you do start getting into those higher class of rods, they tend to get more expensive, and especially the more sensitive rods. The more sensitivity it says it has, more than likely the better material is used on it, and the more expensive it's going to be. For all the anglers out there that are above that, entry level fishing technique and stuff, and want to upgrade their rods, this St. Croix Mojo bass rod, I've upgraded all of my rods to these. For the price, I don't think you can beat it. $120, $130, and it's probably the most sensitive rod that I've used in a while, and they're very durable. I know a lot of the guys on the Fin Freaks team has switched to them. There's still a few that we have to try and get them over here. But yeah, you don't want to break the bank with a rod, especially if you cast it out there and it snaps, because now you're out $300, $400, and yes, they do get up above that. But I would say anywhere around $100 for a rod, if you're looking to upgrade, is a good choice. Anything beyond that is personal preference, and in my mind, I don't need that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you learn a little something, if you're new to fishing, or kind of been into fishing for a while and looking to upgrade some rods or learn more about your fishing rods. I hope this video helped. For more Tackle Tuesday videos, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like this. If there's anything in this video that you want to know more about, or if I didn't go over a certain thing that you were looking for, please leave it down in the comments below. I answer all the comments. I'll write anything on there. And check out next week's video. We're coming to a close on the fishing season because winter, is coming. Yeah. But I'll probably have maybe a couple more of these videos out, and then next year I'll probably kickstart them off again during the spring, taking up the entire year. So there's probably only going to be about 3, maybe 4 of these videos left. We'll see. But hopefully everybody learns something from these videos. Try and take a couple minutes out of my day to make them for you. So hit that subscribe button. Helps me, helps the channel. And go out there, catch some fish. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.